Do you want to spin, or do you want to win?
Are you winning, son?
Yes, Daddy.
Do you want to spin to win? Or perhaps you're just a brain-dead donkey that wants something easy to play? In any case, this build is for you. It's the perfect speed farming build for Torment 4 content. It's sure as hell not a pit-pushing build, but for farming all the boring-ass activities, this build is perfect. And with the introduction of the armory and swapping builds with one button, this is the kind of build you need to have in your arsenal. It's playable from level 1, it's fast, it's fun, brain-dead obviously, and the perfect speed farmer. Let's cover everything you need to know how to play this bad boy, and what I've done to the usual Dance of Knives build to make it actually decent without having to spend a fortune swiping boss mats and gear. Starting us right off, Dance of Knives in itself is rather shit, but it does allow us to do one thing that no other skill can: play the game holding down one button. This is due to Enhanced Dance of Knives, allowing us to generate additional charges the faster we move. This is the only thing you need to solve for the build to be viable. That is, becoming fast as fuck and having a bunch of movement speed. Fortunately for us, though, getting to the movement speed cap has never been easier. Next step is to actually deal some damage. This used to be impossible up until we got this lovely skill, Shadow Clone. Utilizing this and stacking a buttload of ultimate damage, we can more than double our damage, which is on top of already being able to utilize several other multipliers simply by pressing the skill. But Mr. Perragaming Big Schlong Senpai, is it not difficult keeping this thing up at all times? No, not at all, and you barely need any gear to do it. Let's see how. First off, you of course have your usual tempers, but on top of that, we're using this combo of runes, Yaks Cax. Chugging health potions stacks it up, and we then simply need to press a skill to unleash it, which is why we want Dark Shroud on our bars, as it does not cancel our spinning. This has another benefit. It grants us a shit ton of damage, but back to why we want to spend energy, it is of course due to preparation. Having this rune combination easily resets our ultimate regardless of your gear. Okay, Mr. Perragaming from Perragaming, but how do we gain health potions back? Easy. We grab the Nebulous Bruise aspect. As we're moving at the speed of light, this aspect grants us a buttload of health potions, on top of the movement speed, of course, also making it easier to get that movement speed cap sorted. And when it comes to the play style, we want to make it as easy as possible for us. In previous seasons, we relied heavily on snapshotting buffs. We still do this, but in a natural way that you won't even notice. Mainly you're just spinning around, chugging some health potions and pressing Dark Shroud. But every 15 seconds or so, you want to get that Shadow Clone up again. What you do is you press it, press Concealment, press Cold Imbuement, and then you continue spinning. This is lovely as it also allows us to gain some additional damage bonuses from stealth, as well as having us permanently crit and make enemies vulnerable, all the way from level 1. Great, huh? Damn right. All right, friends, are you still here? Good. Now let's assume you want a break from all things Diablo. And what better way than to check out today's sponsor, Steel Hunters? Now I want to be frank here. This game is excellent. No, really. It has everything I want in a shooter. Steel Hunters is a PvE and PvP where you're a goddamn tank that can mow down terrain, and the combat is fun as hell. It has some of the best visuals, sounds, and character designs out there, and that's while still being in early access. And if that wasn't enough, there's also a deep customization with different characters, weapons, and skill trees that are easy to grasp, but harder to optimize. Oh, and did I mention that it's free to play? You'll find a download link in the description. Make sure to check it out because I think you'll enjoy it. Heading back to the build, I think we're ready to check out the gear and aspects you want for the build to function. First off, my gear is pretty shit, and there's humongous damage potential left to get. But it's all right, as we're mainly here for T4 speed farming. Starting us off, we have Cowl of the Nameless. A great helmet granting us ranks in 2 of the best passives out there, as well as getting the crowd control bonus, which we can utilize in our boss powers. For them big old titties, we obviously want the Shroud. But no worries if you don't have it. Just grab any chest and you're fine. As gloves, the Grasp of Shadow are a great pair. Not only is the attack speed incredible and scales high, but it also grants you additional shadow clones, it executes enemies, and it has a huge amount of skill ranks. Oh, and by the way, as everyone is playing Death Trap, you can probably just get a 2, 3, or 4 GA pair for cheap on the trading websites. For Pantaloonies, you have 2 options. Option 1. Go for Tybalt's Will if you want big damn, but you also want a quick death. Because you're going to ignore armor and resistances if you go for this and get them from incenses instead. The only other place you have for those are on your sneakers, which, as you can see, I'm no cuck, it's all damage for me. But honestly, you probably want to grab some resistances and armor. It's up to you. Either way, the Nebulous Bruise aspect is a must, as to combine it with the Yax-Cax combo of runes. Next up are the weapons. Grab Igni and Vex here, as you're gaining double the benefit from skill ranks, both directly in damage from your Dance of Knives, but also from skill ranks in your ultimate. Here you also want to start spreading out your tempers, because ideally, you'll get 100% Dance of Knives damage as well as 100% Shadow Clone damage. I currently don't have either, meaning I'm missing a lot of damage. On top of that, we're also able to get Cutthroat attack speed as all offensive tempers. And if you were unaware, all attack speed is directly converted to flat damage for Dance of Knives. So you'll aim to get 100% Cutthroat attack speed as well. And this tempering manual is not the same attack speed bucket as regular attack speed on your gear, meaning you want as much of that you can find as well. When it comes to the aspects, we have the Synergy aspect for mad damage, in combination with Vehement Brawler's aspect for the same reason, and Stolen Vigor, which is one of the best aspects in the game, only usable as we're using the Momentum key passive. Oh, and this is important. Get crit damage on every damage roll you can find here. Because we need a bunch of crit damage to cap out our Beastmaster's boss power, more than doubling our Shadow Clone damage. I'm missing one roll myself, but having it on all of your weapons should be enough. Next up is our Amulet. Here you're slapping on the Apogeic Fury aspect and pretty much just go for whatever amulet you can afford. Dexterity and skill ranks is the name of the game, where pretty much any skill rank is usable. Impetus, Frigid Finesse, Exploit, Weapon Mastery, and more. They're all great, but expensive. We then start tempering on some Shadow Clone cooldown reduction to reset the skill more easily and head on over to the rings. Same shit here as before, attack speed, dex, and max life is what I'm looking for. Definitely try to get something less useless than mine. Here we also have 2 of the most important aspects. Star Shards is to make our Dance of Knives split up, blow up the lesser enemies, and apply crowd control more easily. And finally, Imitated Imbuements, which is huge in terms of boosting our damage, simply because our Shadow Clone can utilize our Shadow Imbuement now, allowing it to benefit from all of those lovely damage multipliers we'll show soon. But first, our powers and shit. The powers are rather important for us, as the damage they bring probably triple or quadruple our damage. We have the Beam, granting us 50% damage, Cinerat's Flame, granting 25% damage, Flesh Reaper for another 20, and finally, Beastmaster's Training for a whopping 150% damage. Pretty massive, huh? Yeah, not unlike something else, huh? You dirty dog, your fat ass that is. Go for a walk, take a break, and we'll continue onwards with the mercenaries. Subo is the goddamn man always, as he provides us with some much-needed wall hack, as well as this damage bonus. The Cannibal is also great, as she is the only one providing anything useful, that is, attack speed. And finally, before heading over to the skill tree, we of course want preparation for the cooldown reduction and some lovely damage reduction. Well shit, will you look at that? It's skill tree of fucking clock. And you know it, baby. The basic skills get the per usual treatment. Same goes for the core skills, as we're only here for a few passives. In the agility skills is where we find the good stuff. Dance of Knives is what it's all about, and we want enhanced Dance of Knives to keep spinning, and finally disciplined Dance of Knives to start winning. And with winning, I mean have our knives penetrate our enemies for additional AoE damage. We then have Caltrops, which I'll be honest I rarely use, it's mainly for bossing and pushing. And finally, Unstable Elixir, Trick Attacks, and Weapon Mastery are all great passives. Having any of these on your amulet should make you a satisfied man or woman. Next up are the subterfuge skills. Concealment allows us to enter stealth and in turn gain a bunch of additional multipliers, while also getting permanent crits and vulnerable uptime. Other than that, we have a few damage passives and defensives here as well as Dark Shroud. In the imbuement tree we find our Cold Imbuement. And why Cold Imbuement? Well damn, because of two reasons. It freezes enemies, allowing us to easily trigger Frigid Finesse without thinking about it. And secondly, we also gain a 40% damage increase from the Cold Imbuement itself. Shadow Imbuement is mainly used while leveling, and Poison Imbuement is mainly used for when you accidentally pick it rather than an actual useful imbuement. Deadeye is great for the damage, and so are the other passives down here. Impetus is another great option to have on your amulet, and we also find Unto Dawn and Second Wind here, which you'll trigger when you do the health potion combo and spend energy. Here, we also find our Shadow Clone, which you'll want as many ranks in as possible, simply increasing the damage it deals. And for the final point of the day, Momentum. This is great, as it solves movement speed, damage reduction, as well as granting us a bunch of damage. The only other option we have is close quarters combat, but to utilize this, you will have to hit your masterworks as you'll want to spread out your tempers. And who the hell has time for that? Not me, that's for sure, because I'm heading straight for the Perragons now. I may change the pathing here slightly in the planner as I just slap this together while leveling. All of the glyphs and nodes are, however, always going to be the same. We start with Headhunter and use this as your board to spend all spare nodes you get as you're reaching Paragon 240 or so. We then go to pick up Dance Macabre, granting a humongous damage bonus as long as we use Concealment before we start spinning. For Glyph, Control is the way to go, and yet another reason as to why we want Cold Imbuement and instantly crowd control enemies. We then go to the No Witness board, cap it with ease as we got a bunch of ultimate damage on our gloves, and socket versatility, as Dance of Knives is no basic or core skill. After that, we have the Exploit Weakness board, and we socket Canny simply for some additional damage. And finally, the Eldritch Bounty board for the damage, and Devious Glyph for a shit ton of damage. Nicely done, friends. We now have everything we need to start playing the build. There's but left to get good and learn how to play the build. Fortunately, it's easier than ever. When you're spinning, the rotation is as follows. Hold down your Dance of Knives button with one hand, and the other hand you can do as you please. As often as you can, though, you want to keep chugging those health potions, because when you do this, you're stacking up Offering. You then unleash the Offering by pressing Dark Shroud. And the best time to do this is when you've got some elites or a boss nearby, as you're going to get double or more of your damage depending on how many health potions you chugged. When you feel like it's time to reset your Shadow Clone, or if you for some reason stopped spinning, this is what you do. You press in this order: Shadow Clone, Cold Imbuement, Concealment, and start spinning again. That's all you need to do, as you're then getting all of the bonuses you want. No thinking. Just Shadow Clone, Cold Imbuement, Concealment, Spin to win. Easy, huh? Yeah. And with that, I'm going to leave you folks to drop a sub and have some fun. CIA in the next one, Kings.